Our refrigerator went out, guys. So what happened, the power went completely out. Normally there's some icons in here when there's power to the refrigerator. And this has been several days ago already. So I went out and I found that the fuse in the back in the motherboard was popped. So I put a new fuse in it. About 20 minutes later it would pop again. So I started doing a little bit more research and troubleshooting. Found out that there were some fans in the back. One of them had broken apart, so the fan wasn't working at all. Every time the fans would kick on in the back, it would pop that fuse. So I went ahead and ordered the fans. I've got them in now. Well, 2 of them. My refrigerator has 3 fans on the back. I have 2 that came in the mail, and 1 was on back order, so I wasn't able to get that one. So what we're going to do today, in order to get to the top fans, which are the ones I'm replacing today, I have to take the fridge out basically of its enclosure here, or of its hole here. I just need to slide it into this room a little bit so I can get to the fans from the outside. So stick around and we'll show you how all this comes down. Our refrigerator isn't a residential style, so I'm going to go ahead and get in here and the one on the other side and turn off the propane. I have to disconnect the refrigerator completely in the back from the RV so I can get it to slide forward. And part of that for my refrigerator is the propane lines. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that off, and then we'll take you around over to the back side of the refrigerator. To get to the back side of the refrigerator, you have to take off this door. And there's also one at the top that I'll be working in when I'm replacing the fans. To get the door off, all you need is a screwdriver, and to move these 2 little sections here to straight up and down instead of sideways, like that. And then this will pull right off, and you can get to the back side of the refrigerator and actually see what we're talking about in here. So this piece here under this cover is where the fuse is that was blowing, the 5-amp fuse. And one of the 3 fans is right above it right here, and the other 2 fans are way up above. So I have to disconnect all the wiring and the propane from the back side of this refrigerator, and then take out some of these screws down here that are holding it in place. Then go get some screws out from inside, and then we'll be able to push this in a ways so I can get to and replace the fans from the top. Stick around. So I mentioned it was several days since the refrigerator went out. We haven't been without a refrigerator for several days. What I had to do was figure out some way to get the airflow through here so that the refrigerator would actually do its job the way it's supposed to. So basically I had to trick the system, and this is what I did. I took a normal household fan and I propped it in here like this and turned it on and let it blow cool air through the back side of the refrigerator box here. That worked really good until the temperature outside got up to about 85 or a little higher than 85, and then it would still try and kick the fans on, and then it would pop the fuse in there again, and I'd have to come back out and do it again. So what we started doing was just watching the temperature, and if it was going to hit about 85, we'd shut it off, shut the refrigerator off from inside until it cooled back down in the evening, and then we'd turn the refrigerator back on. So we've actually had use of our refrigerator for most of the time that it's been broken. But now hopefully we'll get that fan installed and it'll be fixed. We won't have to use the house fan anymore. I've got the power off at the pedestal. I'm going to unplug the power in here as well. Then I'm going to take this off, take the screws out, go inside and take some screws out in there. We'll push it in and get the fans swapped out. Here we go. So I've got the propane line disconnected. Now I just have to take, also I have the 12 volt lines disconnected because they're also hooked to the trailer, and the power to the refrigerator that's hooked to the trailer is disconnected as well. Now I just need to pull out these few screws here at the bottom and then go inside and get the screws out of the cabinet so we can actually move this fridge. All right, so it looks like we're all done out here. I've got the propane line and the 4 screws that were holding it down with this tray here. So let's go in and see if we can get the 8 screws out from inside so we can move this fridge. To take this apart from the inside, there's 2 strips, one at the top here and an identical one at the bottom. I have to pull these out so I can get to the 4 screws on top and bottom that are holding this thing into the cabinet that it's attached to. That's all it is, guys, is these 2 little plastic strips, one at the top, one at the bottom. You do have to open the doors to get them to come out because these clips are towards the door, and so you have to feel where it starts to get hardware pressed in there and pull out on those locations, and it'll loosen those lips. So there's 2 of those, 4 screws on top, 4 screws on bottom. Now we should be able to move the refrigerator. You can see it moving there. So I'm going to go out back outside and push it in a little bit while Allison stays in here and make sure it doesn't fall out of this hole. Now that the fridge is mobile in the cabinet, I'm going to go ahead and go up on the ladder, open up that top one, see how much I need to push that refrigerator into the RV so I can get my hands in there and get those fans off. So I tried getting to it from the up top outside portion of the refrigerator. I couldn't get my head in there to get it out, so I had to enlist the help of my nephew Nathan over here. He's going to actually help me pull the refrigerator all the way out of the hole so I can get to the fans and finally replace the fans. chaos, guys. It went out. Took me a little while to diagnose the problem. Found out what the problem was. Then we had to call Grand Design and get the okay to go ahead and do it because it's still under warranty. But they didn't have any of the parts that I needed, so I had to find the parts on my own. Found 2 of the fans, the lower one's still on back order. All of the easy plans I had didn't seem to work to where I could just push the refrigerator in and get to it from the top. That baffle in the back made it impossible for me to get in there no matter how far I brought it in. So then you see at the final stages of the video, I had to bring in my nephew there, Nathan, and he helped me. We actually pulled the refrigerator out and set it down against the bar here so I could get to the fans in the back. I got both of the top fans out, no problem, and back in probably 5 or 10 minutes once we had it out and sitting where I could get to it. So the hardest part so far that I've noticed for trying to do repairs on an RV is it's hard to do a lot of them by yourself. Because like I said, if it was just me, I can't. This refrigerator's pretty heavy, about 250, 300 pounds. To get it out and lean it by myself, I couldn't do it. Allison couldn't help me. So I needed to enlist the help of somebody else. So if you're going to tackle something like this, hopefully you have an extra hand with you, and you can get it out to where you can get to it and work on it easily and then get it back in. That seemed to be the most frustrating part for me, was just not being able to have enough room to get out the parts I needed so I could put the new ones in. So I hope this video helps somebody out there. Most of the refrigerators are similar, at least. A lot of them are smaller and all that stuff, but the fans in the back should be all the same if your model has fans. You know, the fans won't be the same, but the replacement should be very, very similar to mine. If you have any comments or questions, drop a comment in the section down below. That'd be awesome. If you haven't already and you're still here to the end, please like and subscribe to the channel. It'd help us out a whole lot. So thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next time on Jarhead and Ginger's Journey.